Let's talk a little bit about how to navigate around in 3D space. Now maybe you've already played around with other 3D packages like 3D Studio Max or Maya or Cinema 4D. And in that case, you might have noticed that every 3D application is a little different when it comes to navigating around, although there are similarities. Now, I hope to iron out a couple of these differences in Unity 3D for you so it's easier for you to navigate around in 3D space as you're building your levels and your games. First thing to note, this is pretty standard, is that when you scroll, you zoom out, or when you scroll upwards, you zoom in into 3D space. Now this is pretty standard. In Unity though, you can also use your cursor keys like the up key, or the left and right key, or the backwards key to move your camera around, just like you would in any other type of game or a first-person shooter, for example. Now, maybe you're thinking, when I'm scrolling and zooming out, how exactly do I know what my camera is focusing on when I'm scrolling? Well, you can change the focus of your camera in 3D space in Unity using the F key. For example, let me select a bunker here that is not visible in my current 3D space, but I have selected it in the hierarchy. As soon as I move my mouse over 3D space and hit the F key, my camera will focus on this group of bunkers here in the stand. Now, when I try to zoom in or scroll to zoom out, it will focus on this set of bunkers, and it's using its center point or pivot point to maneuver around and change the focus point of the camera. Now, if you want to rotate in circles around this focus point, simply hit the Alt key and then click with your mouse, and you will notice that you can now rotate around in 3D space as you keep your mouse pressed. Of course, you can still scroll to zoom in and out, and then use Alt again, and this is great for viewing details, for example, or to see how objects collide with each other in 3D space. Sometimes you need to see things exactly from one angle, and it's confusing to look at things from 3D space. So to do that, you can simply click one of these X, Y, or Z or other angles from this little gizmo up here in the 3D view, and for example, when I click Y, you can see the camera focuses from the top, and we can see things from the top. Of course, we can still scroll to zoom in and out, and this gives us a kind of a real-time strategy game feel to it. But this is just to see things from the top. Of course, you can see the same thing from the side, as long as there's no mountains in the view, as right now, from the other side, and also from the bottom. As soon as you click the little cube in the middle again, it goes back to perspective mode and where you last were viewing from. So that's basically how to maneuver the 3D camera. Now, of course, if you're used to a different 3D application and you'd rather have more than one 3D views, you can toggle from the layout. You can change to, for example, a 4 split, and it will give you 4 windows. Now, when I hover over the 3D view and hit the F key, it will focus on the same bunker again, and I can use different sides to look at different angles. So that is basically how to maneuver around in 3D space. To get back to our old view, just click a different layout. For example, the tall one is the one I had selected before, and then use your F key again to change your focus point in 3D space. Alright, let's continue on and look at the basic concepts behind Unity 3D and how that affects our view on creating games quickly, efficiently, and with very beautiful graphics.